Wednesday, the 16th day in the month of March, 2022. Good morning and welcome to Up and Go right here on the Bridge 99 FM. My name is Richie B.
Good morning, Bridge Nation. You know this is your boy, Shellz.
Good morning, Bridge Nation. It is your girl, Queen JoJo.
Good morning to all. This is your boy, DJ Audley.
Trying to sound like you have a deeper voice. I don't know what's up with that. How is everybody doing today?
We're good, man. We're good.
Like a G.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll tell you my experiences on the way to work this morning off the air. I won't go on air with that.
All right.
If you get my drift.
All right, no problem.
You are already thinking.
No problem.
I didn't have a stop with a police officer though, so that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
All right, what's up for today? Lots of stuff, right?
Lots of stuff today.
Interesting program?
No,
Okay.
boy.
I'll get a chance to have a look at it in a short while from now and see what's up. What time is it?
It is time for WTF, and that is What the Fact.
Take it away. Charles, you got
This
it?
is an interesting one here. The small intestine is actually bigger than the large intestine. What? Oh, that makes sense. I don't know. Well, yes, the human body is pretty weird. The small intestine measures at 20 feet long and inch in diameter. Right?
Yep.
Meanwhile, the large intestine is 5 feet long and 3 inches in diameter. So essentially, the small intestine is larger than the large intestine. You know what happened? We know what happened.
What do you think?
They found the large intestine first, and them just call it that. That's what I feel happened.
And then them buck
we
up
jump
in
the
there.
gun, and then them say, "Oh, Jano, whoops, we made a mistake. We don't document it. We can't bother to do the paperwork."
Oh boy. Christians, don't worry about it. Shellz is just being humorous, okay? Because he's not questioning the Almighty or anything like, or the Creator. So please don't take him on for that.
Please don't.
He's just kidding. But we're talking about the bowels here.
Yeah.
And the large intestine really, primarily, it is said because of the diameter, which is 3 inches, is what they're using as the gauge to determine that it is in fact larger than the small intestine, which only has 1 inch in diameter. But for the small intestine fans, they're out there going, but I'm longer. Wow. Because it measures 20 feet as against the 6 or 5 or 6 feet that the large intestine. I think this is a debate will continue for as long as human life is on.
I'm not going to have this debate, but whoever have the time, go ahead. As long as them will work.
As long as they will work, because they play a very important role in the digestive system. So we have to say big ups to our friends for putting that one together. Those are facts. That was
What the Fact.
time for an update from Joe the first off.
Good morning, Bridge Nation. You know, it's update time. I don't know what them send me first, So, good things happened last night, guys. Shenseea turned heads with her album launch and also with her new boo, London on the Track, which he was also at her album release party here in Jamaica. She popped up, everything was just fabulous. She looked very nice, it was just an overall, from what I could see, because I wasn't gonna go because I have to be here at 6.
It's Tuesday night.
It's a Tuesday night. But London on the Track did something wonderful for her. He gave her a diamond necklace, so
Huge.
It was huge.
Yeah.
And I guess that's her present for her album.
Which he also worked with her on Proverb.
Yes,
so.
right. I'm so happy for Shenseea when it comes to the album launch.
It was at Ramish's HQ too.
Yes, it was at his headquarters.
Campbell's Boulevard, yeah.
Right, and everybody was there.
Except me. Except me.
Shellz, we are working. I'm on it. We have to know what we are doing.
Politicians, lots of entertainers.
Which had me
Sean
questioning
Paul
something.
through,
Sean Paul,
Beanie
Man was there.
Yeah.
A whole host of
man.
persons. Our very own Nikki Z was there. A lot of persons were just there and congratulating
Supporting
her and supporting her. My thing is, aside the album launch, poor choice with the man, and this is my opinion. London on
Who
the
you
Track.
talking? London?
Yes, poor
You don't
choice.
like him for her?
Nope.
Listen.
Shenseea is she's too nice. Jamaican, nice, good, clean Jamaican girl.
Listen.
And you go date London on the track.
Jojo.
What's the issues? What's around his name that is so
London
bad?
on the track is known for dating, getting his girlfriends pregnant, and leaving them. Everybody knows this. We're going to pretend if we want to, but Jody will pretend.
But we're on a Queen JoJo. I mean, Shensia and say them there. Shensia say them work together, they make good music together. I mean, I don't know if that's code, but it's,
you know.
she just say he's a cool dude and them work well together. And she says, yo, she's not, nobody will ever know who she's dating publicly. So Shensia, thanks for keeping her love life private. Yeah.
Oh my God. For
I
those
have a dream.
Richie, you know, for those of us who have been on Earth for a little longer than Shellz, you know, we're smart enough to put what my mother does say, put two and two together.
All right.
What I know though is that I think he had a baby with a lady
With
recently.
Summer Walker, he
Yeah.
literally just left.
Yeah.
As soon as Summer Walker got pregnant, he left her.
really?
So
The fruitful
I'm
and
just saying, be careful and make smart choices when it comes to your partner. Shansia, you're doing awesome. I'm so proud of you, but better choices with men.
album party launch is nice still. Big up
Yeah,
Ramesh
it was
Entertainment. It was a
beautiful,
good look
man.
still.
Good
It was a
look. And
I
Ramesh.
will never get the call though, but
Big up
on yourself.
Ramesh too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
She brought him out and gave him some props, which he
Yes.
deserves.
Oh, you mean?
She
It was
says
good.
you might roll it out from she have one pair of slippers.
Yes.
Lovely.
From when she him drop
It was good.
when
man. It
him
was
drop
good.
off when him drop her off at night and there's no light on the lane, he would make sure that
Yeah.
the escorts wait until she gets into her house. So
that.
that's a lot of history.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, Sean Paul performed along with her the track from the album as well as Beanie Man, and it was a good look
It was
overall.
a good look overall. So
Absolutely.
really proud of her. You know, kudos to her and
of
her
course.
team.
Can we drop one more in or two?
I'll drop one. You just mentioned Sean Paul, right? Well, the general just doesn't seem to be doing, to always, always seem to find a way for just break records and just make sure you get international
right.
recognition without trying. Pick up yourself, Sean Paul. But his song Temperature, along with Mad Cobra, cover featured in Hulu series called The Dropout. Now, Sean Paul's 2005 Billboard topping hit Temperature and Swedish singer Robin's remake of Mad Cobra's 2001 hit Press Trigger, fittingly titled Cobra Style, have been featured in episode 2 of The Dropout, a Hulu series about Elizabeth Holmes, an American former biotechnology an entrepreneur, who was, sorry, I said that 5 times fast, who was convicted of criminal fraud. Now, this is a good look. This is a really, really good look.
That's dope.
Like I said, Sean Paul just never seems, to surprise us. And it's nice to see that Cobra tune. That tune about, because first time I heard that in a video game, I was like, what? Jamaica get represented in a football video game. So it was good. It's good to see this happening, and we give thanks for this exposure.
Cobra songs, them always make movies though,
Yeah.
First Trigger.
He's quite a successful artist, actually.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, man.
successful.
It's
All
got a
his
good look,
movies.
Especially when he pressed trigger.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay,
Reggie. Okay.
Yeah, lyrically speaking.
Yes.
Okay.
So recently I was carrying on, if you remember, about the fact that there was no other place in Jamaica that the Rolling Stones lead man Mick Jagger would find himself for a vacay than over in the parish of my birth, Portland.
Yes, sir.
And you remember that
Yeah.
this morning?
Remember
I was getting on for a while. Well, news out of the Rolling Stones is that they have announced a European tour.
Oh.
They just don't stop. Now listen, these guys are like 78, 76, and 74 years of age. We're talking about Sir Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Ronnie Wood. Wow. The latest member who pulled in was Steve Jordan, who is 65 years of age. And they are going on I think it's their 60th 60th anniversary European tour.
Wow.
And they'll be all across Europe, starting off with dates on June 25 in London and moving right across Europe. I suspect not in Ukraine, obviously. And I don't suspect in Russia, but they'll be all over Europe and still going strong.
Yeah.
Wow. Even though they're up in age.
Yeah.
So big ups to the Rolling Stones. Mick Jagger did a song back in the day with Peter Tosh. We'll play it after we do the outro. Thank you. That was
Update.
Right now, it's time for us to get inside of our proverb of the day, and that will be followed by Pet Peeve. Starting off with the proverb, here's Jody.
Hi, good morning. So the proverb of the day, Rainford is going to play it for us, and we're going to go through the meaning.
Better you mind your all clothes than people business.
One more time for us, Rainford.
Better you mind your all clothes than people business.
Better you mind your all clothes than people business. It explains itself, right, guys? Yeah, man. So the meaning is better to look after your own burdens rather than intrude in other people's affair. Many times, we love for go. Some people, not me, I mind my business until asks my opinion.
You can take this quite literal too, like legit. Mind your old clothes and stop watch other people.
Exactly.
Business,
Sort out
yourself.
Yeah.
You're running upon people things.
I like this proverb, and I think that I'm going to be using it pretty often.
What place it come from?
No, it's from Trinidad.
Trinidad?
Yes.
What?
I don't. I practice my Trinidadian accent, Richie, but my sister is like, no, not yet. Reach there, because she lived there for about 4 years.
Okay.
So she's like, reach there yet. No matter. So working on it. So,
You'll get there.
I'll get there. So that was our proverb of the day, and we head into pet peeves. Pet peeves are things that people do that you might find annoying, irritating, or even upsetting. And here is a pet peeve from one of our
Man in
listeners.
Rich Nation, you know what is my pet peeve? People who promise you things and don't come through with it. Don't promise me nothing if you not plan for come through with it. Yeah, man, that's my pet peeve. Stop promise people things where you know you can't live up to.
Guilty. Guilty.
Do you send some financial arrangements for right?
Yeah.
What? Because the female, it has to be a financial
Wow.
thing.
Whoa there.
But that's true, man. Don't promise people nothing. You have some people promise, man, make a sort you out, man.
Man, I'm guilty
such and such time.
Yeah, man, I'm guilty of that.
You call them
Bibs, sir.
Yeah,
man, a regular
A problem we never expect.
Yeah, always buck up in something. Something always go wrong.
Favorite line, yeah.
So the thing they don't work out.
Yeah, man. So
all right. Don't promise people nothing.
Yeah.
People are responding very quickly to this.
John.
One person said, "I'm money, And the next person said, when him think about the amount of money him get already, him change your mind."
There it is. Case closed.
I guilty the man, they feel guilty out there now when them hear that.
I depend on my listeners.
Oh my God.
When you think about the money that you already give,
Amen.
you can't get no more food.
So ladies, if you're listening, it's not that them can't fulfill it. It's just that they must say, but me give enough already. So if you agree with
Maybe you get it the following week and it feels like, boy, a little more time has elapsed,
just get our food, man. I want to our man.
Run the food. We're very pleased to be joined at this time by former Minister of National Security and member of the People's National Party, Peter Bunting. The backstory: recently, former Minister of National Security and Peter Bunting rejected claims that he acted incorrectly in granting firearm permits to persons with criminal traces. This issue was raised in a report that was done by the Integrity Commission and was tabled in Parliament a few weeks ago. One of the reports shared that Mr. Peter Bunting approved an applicant who was arrested and charged in the United States for the offenses of trafficking cocaine, 4 counts of larceny, and grand theft in the 3rd degree. I should tell you, too, that the applicant's firearm user's license was revoked in September 2012 on the basis that he misrepresented himself to the FLA and could no longer be considered fit and proper to be issued with a firearm. But the report said the applicant's criminal record was expunged 2 years later in October 2014, and by way of a letter, it was indicated that Mr. Bunting, then Minister of National Security, granted the issuance of a firearm user's license. This morning, he's joining us, Peter Bunting, that is, and we'll listen to him as he, I suspect, clarifies some positions on this issue. Good morning, Peter Bunting. How are you today?
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Richie B, and morning to all the listeners at Bridge.
All right, we're joined by Shellz in the studio as well. He'll have a question or two for you, Peter.
Sorry, I didn't catch the name.
His name is Shellz.
Morning, sir. Morning, Mr. Bunting.
Shellz.
Yes,
sir. Morning.
Now,
Morning, Shellz.
Mr. Bunting, people have been calling for your resignation on this whole issue. But I want you to clarify, first of all, why a firearm license would have been issued to someone who had the offenses, as we mentioned earlier.
Well, first of all, what the report doesn't mention is that although this person was charged as a student, he was never convicted. So in this was in Florida, and not only was he not convicted of the offenses, but the record of his being charged was expunged. Further, what the report doesn't mention is that the Firearm Act establishes a review board. This review board is comprised of a retired judge of the Court of Appeal, a retired judge of the Supreme Court, and a leading Queen's Counsel. In the case you mentioned, that appeal went to them first. They met and reviewed the FLA's decision, and the review board decided that it was unable to agree with the FLA because the file had no evidence of the nature of the misrepresentation that you mentioned that was allegedly perpetrated. And the file disclosed no result of the criminal charges preferred against the applicant. When we further were provided with the order for expungement by the Florida court, that order stated, among other things, that the petitioner had never been previously adjudged guilty of a criminal offense. And although they were charged, they were entitled to an expungement of the charges. Now, I don't know if your listeners may understand the principle of expungement, but it's to really restore the person to the position they were in before these charges, or in some cases even a conviction. But in this particular case, there was no conviction. Mm-hmm. So this distinguished review panel recommended to me as minister that I should restore the license for the person who was appealing their revocation. So I didn't just take this upon myself. I was advised by an eminent panel, retired appeal court, Supreme Court, and Queen's Counsel, 3 persons.
So at the time, you did not have to exercise ministerial discretion?
Well, the ministerial discretion is to accept the advice of the review board. The way the law is written is that my ministerial discretion is based upon a report from the review board. This is all established in the Firearms Act. Where I think people are confusing the case is that a successor minister of mine bypassed that process with the review board and exercised his ministerial discretion independent of the advice of the review board. I did not do that.
Peter, we wonder whether or not this should actually be instituted in the statutes so that anyone who has had certain previous convictions ought not to be eligible for a firearm permit, and that maybe would change the course of direction on issues like these. What's your thought on that?
Well, first of all, it wouldn't have applied in this case because the person had never been convicted.
Okay.
So it would not apply to this case. The second thing is for, Parliament and the society to decide whether a young man, as in this case, he would have been a student. Even if he had made a mistake, is there no path to remediation for that person? Making a mistake at 19 or 20, should you then be penalized for the rest of your life because you made that? Our justice system as it stands now does provide a path to remediation for such persons. But it's over time, a certain amount of time has to go by. Your behavior has to be, upstanding, etc., before the process of expungement takes place. But that doesn't even apply in these cases. In both cases that were mentioned, the persons were never convicted. Allegations were made, they were charged, but there was obviously the court that there was insufficient basis in the evidence to convict them. So we have a presumption of innocence in our system, as well as in the Florida state, where you are not condemned based on allegations or charges.
Mr. Bunting, thank you so much for the clarification so far, mentioning that the fact that the gentleman, was not convicted, he was a student at the time. However, in Monday, you outlined as well, that key elements of your responses were omitted in published reports, Were there any other things that were omitted apart from the fact that you just mentioned, he's a student and he wasn't convicted?
No. The important part that was omitted was that it was recommended to me by the statutorily established review board. And in all cases, I acted upon the advice of the review board. But I even went beyond that, because after the review board recommended it, the reinstatement, we still went and checked with the NIB and said, since that incident when he was a student, which was 11 years previously, do a background check to see if anything else has come to the attention of the NIB since that, since 2003. We're now in 2014. We got all clear from the NIB. So we were even more conservative. So there was really absolutely nothing that I have to be defensive about in terms of my behavior.
Was there any point where you had to, review the decisions taken by the review board? Because it seems like there's a little gray area there, Peter.
Well, ministerial discretion allows the minister to act in his own discretion. So he does not have to follow the advice of the review board. But if he doesn't, then he must be prepared to give an account to the public. In my case, I followed the advice of the review board.
We started off by intimating that persons are calling for you to resign as a result of this development. Why are you resolute that you will not resign?
Because I did nothing wrong. It's quite simple. In fact, if you read my responses, which I released publicly, which was my response to the Integrity Commission, I followed the law and the process faithfully. And I would be silly if, because persons, most of whom haven't even read the 245-page report, but are just willing to jump on the bandwagon for whatever reason to call for my resignation, that I just comply with that. Fortunately for me, Richie, the way I was raised, I understand the difference between character and reputation. Any ignoramus can say something in public or in social media that affects your reputation, but that really doesn't affect my character.
Are you satisfied that as a country we're doing as much as we ought to between government and opposition to sort of fight corruption, especially within agencies, government agencies like the FLA?
Well, what I think this whole incident since this scandal broke in 2017 highlights is that although the FLA was brought into being around 2006 to address issues of corruption in the GSF, and seemed to have worked well for the first 10 or so years, given that the JLP administration packed the FLA, the authority, with political activists at both the board and management level, and the system became so corrupted that the entire board had to resign, and it precipitated this investigation by the contractor general. Obviously, amendments need to be made to the way things are being done. There is a new Firearms Act before Parliament now. I sit on the Joint Select Committee that is reviewing the bill, and hopefully corrections will be made in the way things are done to avoid scandals like the ones in 2017.
All right, Peter, I think we're out of time in this segment, and we really want to thank you for coming on air and speaking with us, and we wish you well. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All the best. I chat there with Peter Bunting. He is the former Minister of National Security and member of the People's National Party, and it had to do primarily with this whole matter of incidents and events that took place under his watch, pretty much at the Firearm Licensing Authority.
We're going right into Tech This. Now, this is my time, this is my feature. Them call me Tech Boss for a reason. Why? I like the name, let's know if I can review that. Anyways, today, for those who don't know what this segment is all about, we just talk about technological advancements all over the world, and today is no exception. Now, Bridge Nation, we talk about smartphone, we talk about smartwatch, smart glasses, what else? Smart bathroom, smart shower. Well, you don't want to know. This one is called the Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed. Yes, bed can smart too. Now, the Sleep Number has continuously impressed us with innovative solutions that help with getting a good night's rest. However, their latest smart bed brand integrates sensors and technologies to respond to the evolving needs of the sleeper or sleepers. The Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed can vary the heating or cooling on each side of the bed, sense snoring, and adjust the head of the bed as needed. It can also tilt to better maintain proper spine and alignment, while elevating or completely lower and elevate to help sleepers get out of bed more readily. This bed is also great for couples. Hear that? This bed is also good for couples. Wait, let me just finish up that quick before people think the wrong thing. This is also great for couples who can't agree on a mattress. Yes, I'm not step on a toe out there, but if the cap fit, you know, wear it down. This bed has 2 adjustable air chambers, so you can set each side to your preferred firmness, and this can all be controlled with your smartphone. Yes, the Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed also has a built-in sleep tracking. What this does, it highlights how much you've moved and how long you were getting restful sleep. Now, the expected release date is early 2023, and all 360 smart beds start at $1,099. So that is Tech This, and that was the Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed.
Interesting one there, Shellz. Adjustable air chambers.
Yep.
So
couple on the bed.
Yeah.
If your wife not too like the firmness in her
Well, chances are, I think most wives like a firm
mattress.
mattress.
Yes.
What your thought? I saw some reactions across the glass.
I don't know.
As soon as I said
Jo Jo
firm,
like try to police. I don't know. Jo Jo, you didn't say nothing wrong.
pointing fingers in other direction, threateningly.
Yeah.
Somebody's doing that. But that's interesting.
Yeah. So it's almost like you together, but you can have separate beds while being in the bed together. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. You can set the temperature. So if you want cooler temperature while you're sleeping, wife wants warmer.
Quite innovative.
Yeah.
Quite innovative.
Yep.
The price is always the issue, especially when these things are just coming in. $1,099.
Starting at. To be specific.
It is something to look at. Thank you, Shellz.
That was Tech This.
All right. Time for
The Secret Sound Game.
telephone number to call 876-676-4996. DJ Audley, let's remind the listeners first of all of the secret sound, and then we start taking your calls. What sound is this? Shellz, you want to remind them of the clues we've given so far?
I will reluctantly do so. It is not an animal. It is an action, and it is green, as in the color green. It is green. Those are your hints.
All right. Calls are ready.
Oh boy, who we got?
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Richie.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Is this Angela?
Yes, I'm laughing because I did not get that last two. It was green.
Green, yeah, man. The color green.
Oh, Lord. This is way out.
You have.
I'm going to say what I was going to say. I was thinking of a domino game, but
Or is it more like?
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Sorry, Angie. Sorry. Think about it some more. You know, seriously, I heard somebody say earlier this morning within the team in the studio, boy, if we don't find a winner for this one, we might have to retire that one. But we're not ready to do that yet. Good morning. You're on the air. You have a chance to win today. Good morning.
The radio is on.
Turn the radio off and talk with us. We're hearing you. Good morning. Welcome to the Secret Sound Game.
Hello?
Good morning. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Hello. Turn your radio down and listen to the phone.
3 clues have been given. 1,
One is it's not an animal.
2,
It's an action.
3.
It is the color green.
All right.
Why?
Good morning, caller. On 876-676-4996. Dennis, what's up? Trying again. Go ahead, bro. What's your answer today?
You know what's the thing, sir? When I pick breadfruit out of a tree and I come down to the man drop around.
Pick breadfruit out of a tree.
When you
Yeah. Come down to the man and you drop around,
And
man.
you drop a ground.
Yeah.
Oh, you crash. Let me hear the crash sound.
That's in a trash.
Drop in a trash.
Yeah.
Hey, Dennis! Yo, that wrong.
But like the story though. But like the setup.
Thanks for trying, bro. Have no fear. All right, let's get another call up in here. Man, the phone lines are flashing heavily. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. How are you?
Well, I'm good, you know.
Okay, Secret Sound Game is on. Do you have the answer?
I think so. It's a game of tennis. You know them tennis, you touch the ball. Green ball.
You know what other sound you can hear in a tennis? Mwah, mwah, mwah. Sorry, caller. Sorry, caller.
Yo.
Sorry, boss.
Just big up Mr. No Fear, you know.
All right, no worries. I'm just here. You hear that? All right, last one.
more.
Let's take another one.
Morning.
Morning.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, we answer. Who is it?
I hope so. It's Joy from Anderson.
Oh, hi, Joy.
Hi, Joy.
All right, so you have your answer.
Yes. Is it a manual lawnmower?
Like when you start it up. Oh,
Yes.
okay. I like the way you think, Joy. However, mwah, mwah, mwah.
And it's not a weed water either?
Hey.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's not Joy. So sorry. Let's give them the sound one more time in the outro. It's the sound that's baffling a nation. So we will be talking in this segment with Dr. Christine Hendricks, Executive Director of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. Fact is, the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, JCDP, is actually calling for individuals who are diagnosed with a disability to, in fact, register with the entity. With the Disabilities Act in effect from February 14, the interim executive director of the JCPD, Dr. Christine Hendricks, pointed out that being registered with the council, persons with disabilities will be able to access the benefits and services the JCPD provides more easily. At this time, we'd like to say good morning to Dr. Hendricks and welcome to Up and Go. Good morning, Doc.
Morning, Dr. Hendricks.
How are you?
We are doing well. We are doing well, and we're happy to have you on the program. We wanted to find out at the very start what is the role, really, of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities?
So the role of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities is to ensure that the rights of persons with disabilities are promoted and protected, and to ensure that the act is implemented in the most effective way possible so that persons with disabilities can participate fully and equally in the society as others.
Nice.
It also has the responsibility to develop codes of practice to ensure that persons in the society knows how not to discriminate against persons with disabilities in the different areas that are highlighted in the act.
Nice. Further, Dr. Hendricks, can you further elaborate, on why it's important for persons with disabilities to register with the JCPD, and how do they go about registering?
All right, so that is one of the other important things that the JCPD does. It has to maintain a confidential register, which is important for policy and planning, because if we don't know the number of persons with disabilities that exist, it is difficult to put plans in place for them. We have often heard that either 10% or 15% of our population has a disability. That could be anywhere from 200,000 to over 400,000. But we don't know where these people are. We don't know who they are. And unless they register, then they will be out there perhaps needing assistance, and nobody knows where to find them. And so it is very important that families, friends, neighbors, everybody in society play a role in helping us to identify these persons who have disabilities. Now, the Disabilities Act points out that persons with disabilities are people with impairments that are physical. So that means something, you may have lost a hand, lost some fingers, maybe a foot or both feet, or have a spinal cord injury, maybe one foot is longer than the other. Any of these can be physical disabilities. Then you have mental disabilities that can range anywhere from learning disabilities to mental illness. And also you have intellectual disabilities. Those are the persons whose IQ is below 70 or below 50. Their comprehension level is low, their development is slow, their understanding about life is not as the typically developing person. And these persons are important. Persons with Down syndrome, persons with autism are important part of this registration drive. Persons with sensory disabilities, hard of hearing, deaf, blind, or visually impaired. So any range of those persons are the people that we're talking about. It's important to register.
Yes.
Not only so we know the numbers, but that they can benefit from varying grants and opportunities that the council has to offer. Additionally, persons will recall that part of the Disabilities Act has a complaint mechanism attached to it. So that is, if persons with disabilities feel that they are discriminated against because they are unable to go to school or any training institution, if they are not being employed because of their disability, not because of they don't have the qualification, but they have the qualification and persons are discriminating against them because they have the disability, then they have the opportunity to lodge a complaint to the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. And so it is important, not only for the grants and the scholarships, to start businesses or to get assistive devices or to do whatever it is. So persons would come to us, whether they're caregivers or they themselves, and make an application. But that application can only be preceded by a registration. Now, how do you register?
Tell us.
So the registration process is simple. There are two forms. One is a medical form for the medical professional or the psychologist or the psychiatrist in the instance of persons with intellectual disabilities or mental illness. They can take that form to their personal doctor or take it to the clinic or the hospital, get it completed, signed, dated, and stamped by the professional, and then they complete a registration application form where they place their own personal information, their name, their date of birth, which school if they are in school, and what level pre-primary, primary, secondary, tertiary, wherever they are, if they are employed or not, what are the challenges they may have because of their disability. Information like that we want to know. They bring in those 2 forms. Of course, they would sign and stamp, sign those and date them. And when they're coming in, they take with them a passport size picture. They take their ID, national ID, or photo ID. They take with them their NIS, their TRN, their birth certificate.
Okay.
And once they come with those documents, well completed, signed and stamped, it's very important that the doctor stamp the medical form, because that is authenticating that it was a medical professional who is verifying the disability. Once we take those in, we enter that into our database. A number is produced, and they would have been considered registered.
Okay, thank you.
In a few months' time, they will be able to get a certificate of registration, which would, they would have with them as their verification that they are a person with a disability and that they are registered with the JCPD.
All right. You've cleared up a number of issues and a number of questions that we wanted to ask. And because one of those was, of course, the matter of verification, whether or not persons involved at your organization would have to be verified by a medical professional. And pretty much that is what you said a while ago. It's subject to verification from a medical professional. It is obvious that there are many ways that persons can benefit through this organization, and we're heartened to hear that. How many persons do you have on record in your database right now across Jamaica?
All right, so we have 2 aspects of our record. We have persons who are in the database who placed an application, but they never completed the process. So we have over 36,000 persons like that. Mm-hmm. And then we have over 13,000, about 13,600 or so persons who completed the process and are considered registered.
Okay.
And so we have quite a number of persons who have not brought in their medical report forms to complete the process, and we have persons who are not registered any at all. So we want persons to touch base with the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. We have social workers in the different parishes at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security parish offices. Just touch base with someone so that you can ascertain whether or not you are registered, and if you are not, then you can begin the process to be registered.
All right. Where are you located, and do you care to share a contact telephone number or something that persons can make contact with you?
Definitely. Our head office is currently at 18 Ripon Road, Kingston 5. We're on the same building with the NIS at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. The persons can come there, or they can call 876-926-9374-5 or 876-618-1133, and that's a digital line. We have a website that persons can go on and get the information as well and fill down the forms and get them completed, and it's www.jcpdja.com.
All right. Very useful information. We just want to remind listeners of ours that, you can, in fact, register and you can benefit if you have a disability through the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, the JCDP. Thank you for the information. Sorry? JCDP. Oh, PD, sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, the information you shared,
Definitely.
and we wish you all the best, Dr. Christine Hendricks. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Killer Boo!
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Go on, Richie. Go on, Shellz.
How you doing today, Killer?
I'm rested, I should say. I got some sleep.
I'll give thanks for that.
Yeah, man, well, you must sleep. The weather is actually lovely in New York City. We are experiencing some spring-like weather, and it's going to be that way for the whole entire week. So we give thanks to that, man, getting closer to the spring.
But back to your first statement. It sounds like sleeping is a rarity in your existence.
I'm telling you. I've been, getting up every morning very, very early for the past year and a half, 2 years. Just tuned into the radio, and no, I do not at night time. We was lockdown pandemic, so I was home and I've been getting up early. But also for the fact that I tune into DJ Roy's program in the morning. I also tune into your program in the morning. So
right, thanks.
I get up early.
All right, bro. All right, big respects wherever you are, DJ Roy. Killer Boo sitting in this morning. We say good morning to our friends in the tri-state area, which includes New York,
Connecticut,
and New Jersey. Big respects every time. This, by the way, my friends, is a simulcast, and Killer Boo is in Ira Jam Radio Studios in New York City. Here we are in Jamaica on Bridge 99 FM, and this is a simulcast. So all that we do for the next half an hour or so will be transmitted live on radio, live to air in these territories. And of course, we're also streaming around the world.
Better believe it at www.thebridge99fm, and of course on irajamradio.com. So it's a vibe. Bossy radio.
You see
believe that.
I like that. What's going on over there in Russia? What do you think about everything that's happening, man? We saw a Russian TV protester yesterday.
Yeah.
Went on TV behind the newscaster and
put up a sign.
Put up a sign saying no more war. I think it was a brave gesture, very brave. A lot of people are hailing her as a hero because they're saying, there are people in Ukraine, in Russia, who really and truly don't want to see this war going on, as a lot of people around the world. So I guess there's a big thing right now. If they can, protest against Putin. I don't know how much steam that's going to pick up. I don't know what happens when you do that in Russia.
That's true.
But they're saying that they haven't seen her since.
Yeah.
Or heard anything from her since.
We don't know.
Wow.
But I tell you, there's an American who came out, I think late yesterday, and said the next 10 days are going to be very, very important, because it is being said by Western countries that this is having a bigger effect, negative effect or impact on Russia than even Putin might have envisaged. And recently he came out and said that Putin, that he wanted some help from China.
Oh, yes.
Which President Biden, it did not escape his notice. but it is being said that the next 10 days could be very, very decisive in terms of what the results of this confrontation really might turn out to be. So
Yes,
let us see. We hope that no more lives are lost, because that is the part that takes. Yeah, Killer, I'm hearing you.
No, I was gonna say I saw where Putin actually put out that he sent down sanctions, personal sanctions, on Biden, his son, Hillary Clinton, and I believe 10 other Americans, and over 300 and something Canadians, where they're seizing their assets, any business, any monies that they have in Russia, anything they have going on in Russia, they have seized them by now. So that's a new development. Also, we saw where the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky addressed members of Congress this morning
got a
in
standing
his
ovation.
ongoing effort, to get support in his fight against the Russian invasion. So, the thing we are going on in Russia now, a big something.
Big something. We were talking on air earlier about whether or not any of us would respond to the call of Zelensky. Let's say we were his neighbors or his friends, and he wanted us to come down to Kyiv as the three prime ministers from three countries: Poland, Slovenia, and Czech Republic, as they did yesterday. Would you have gone if you were the friend of Zelensky, Killer Boo? They took the train down to Kyiv,
by the way,
to have a conversation with the prime minister, with the president of Ukraine. Would you have taken that trek in the middle of this confrontation?
Maybe I would, and it wouldn't have been a public thing, it would have to, been something where, the whole world not really know so we'd have a conversation. Sometimes I really don't understand how they put out all the information publicly sometimes as to the moves they're making, certain strategic moves when it comes to war. Okay, we're going to do this, we're sending this amount of soldiers here, we're sending this amount of ammunition over here. So your opponent basically knows your moves.
Sometimes scare tactics still, so we don't know.
I won't won't call a name, but one member of our team says, listen, I just said to Zelensky, yeah, I could talk on the phone here, man.
We're not calling you.
Exactly what I meant.
One of the big things that happened last night, though, was the launch of Shensea's album, the Jamaican launch.
Jamaican leg, yeah.
And it's all the rage.
Yes.
A lot of celebrities were in the house, a number of entertainers. She was presented with a nice, fantastic gold. Well, it's not even gold. It's a lot of diamond in that necklace by, I don't know, London on the track. And Beanie Man and Sean Paul performed. A host of persons were there, and it seemed to have gone down very, very well. So Shensia is all the rage right now, trending big time.
Shout out to Shensea's new album that's out right now, Alpha, and all the success that's coming her way. We wish her all the best. And just the music. We cheer for the culture. We cheer for Jamaica. Big up all of our Grammy nominees in the Best Reggae album coming up April 3rd. We are cheering for all of them, from Sean Paul to Spice to Jesse Royal, Gramps Morgan. Am I leaving out anyone?
Soja,
Itana, and then there's the band Soja.
Yeah.
So this morning, some of our guests, we just want to thank them for passing through here on Up and Go. At 7 a.m. we had Peter Bunting, who clarified some,
Issues relating to the FLA matter.
That's right.
Clear the air.
Trying to clear the air. And at 7:30, the Secret Sound game. Nobody won. So have an opportunity to try and win tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, it's such an easy answer.
Said the person who knows the answer.
It is so, I never thought that it would have gotten so far. Oh my Lord, when you guys find out the answer, you're gonna laugh. And at 8:30 we had News 360, and yes, so we had our News 360 at 8:30, and at 8 a.m. we had Dr. Christine Hendricks, Executive Director at Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, who was encouraging persons to register with the council because it's important. You benefit when you register with them.
They can't help you if they can't find you.
Right. So please go and complete your registration if you started, and go and register if you haven't as yet. And we just wrapped up our global connection with Killaboo of Irijam Radio.
It was a beautiful morning, and I have to mention this, Richie, because I've never set foot in this country, but my voice over there. This person says, big up Richie B, Shellz, Queen Jo Jo, Selector Audley, and all the staff at Bridge 99. The show off the chain. And this is from Dr. Damian Riley out of Birmingham.
Morning, Doc.
UK.
Good morning.
Thank you for
Enough
listening,
respect.
Dr. Riley.
Yeah, man.
And make it a daily habit.
Yes, sir. Please.
Friends and your family as well.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
It's a good vibe.
Yo, well, I kind of like that new thing there. It's not the first time hearing it. Selector Audley.
Selector Audley. Is it right there?
Well, I know each region have a name for me,
Yeah.
Red and J. Man's like
Audley.
Audley.
Yeah.
Oh, what is?
Yo. Take a step.
So that was our
All
morning.
right. I hear that Shellz have the thing called a quote of the day, and it's a very profound quote. So let's hear it, no, Bridget.
All right. Get ready, people. Get ready for some inspiration. In the middle of a difficulty lies opportunity. Let me say it again like a movie. I have a song to cue up a joke. In the middle of a difficulty lies opportunity.
See it there?
Yeah, I eat that though. So like
Yeah,
a movie
eat that
joke.
right there, sir.
Yeah, man, channel the inner Richie B.
Yeah. What do you mean? Leon, you listening?
Yeah, School Running's the sequel.
Oh, you mean?
Look out feet.
Man, that's Shellz could be Leon's son.
There it is.
Pull apart and eat a food.
See it there?
What
Right
you
there,
mean?
sir.
Make a money.
There it is.
Money.
And sign some autograph after.
Well, I know we have a look at signature.
Oh, you mean?
How you mean?
It's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, we had fun with you. We thank you for listening. Most of all, you are the ones who make us do what we do. Because everything that we do, we have you in mind. In fact, you're listening to the station that listens to you. Wow. Bridge 99 FM. My name is Richie B.
This is your boy Shellz.
And it is your girl, Queen Jo Jo.
Yeah, and yours truly, DJ Audley.
Have a great day, everybody. Catch you again tomorrow morning for Thursday's edition of Up and Go here on the Bridge 99 FM.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, the Bridge 99 FM.